Marvin, you're going to like this story because I know you are a Disney Cruise Line fan. And hey, for right now, there might not be a better time to go cruising than right now, even when they're debuting new ships in Disney Cruise Line. Why am I saying that? Well, here you go from Blog Mickey. Extremely limited time offer. 40% off voyage fare on select Disney Cruise Line sailings this September 19, 2025. Disney Cruise Line has announced an extremely limited time offer in honor of World Gratitude Day. The offer is for 40% off voyage fare on select sailings and is now available for booking. Here are the details. In honor of World Gratitude Day on September 21st, we want to thank all of our incredible Disney fans. To celebrate you, we're offering a limited time deal, save 40% off fare on select sailings. And look, you can book your magical getaway. Well, it's the last day, but you can enjoy magical savings for select sailings October 17, 2025 through December 19th, 2025 right there.
These are basically last minute sailings that didn't fill up.
Correct. I think that's what's going on here. And I am kind of surprised because we know that they're launching very, very soon here the Disney Destiny. The Disney Destiny left Mara Wharf's shipyard late Friday to begin her Ems River conveyance and is scheduled to arrive in Eemshaven, Netherlands on Sunday morning. To all of our Netherlands viewers, I do apologize. The ship is traveling backwards towards the North Sea with the support of 2 tugboats. I just look at the juxtaposition of these two stories, and I think, is there maybe too much inventory within the cruise line right now? And you're going to bring on a brand new cruise ship worth well over $1 billion, we can presume. What do you guys think about this particular story right here?
Well, here's the thing. Disney cruises are great. They are the one place where Disney, I believe, still excels. However, they are also ludicrously expensive, and there are infinitely cheaper options out there. Royal Caribbean is very similar in quality to Disney for a fraction of the price, and people are starting to realize this. So I think that you're starting to see a lot of these Disney ships not filling up. So that makes a lot of sense. I think they are overloading the fleet a bit here. I think that is a big mistake because I don't think that the audience is growing, but the fleet is. So it's
in substantial ways. I mean, we just got the Treasure. Mm-hmm. Now we have Disney Destiny, and we know the Adventure is coming online, and that was the purchase ship by Bob Chapek. It's delayed, but that is coming online as well, and it's going to be serving a different market. But one can presume that that's going to be cycled through the fleet at some time. Ron, they are adding an inordinate amount of capacity for this cruise line effort right here in a very short period of time while they're offering severe discounts. Now, I understand that very limited time and on dates between October and December, but I just want to get from you, are we making a mistake here? Are we buying into this in a time that the market may not be able to support this or maybe won't be able to grow at the rate that this is?
No. They've got a plan for this new ship. They have those themed cruises. So they have the Marvel cruise, they have the Star Wars cruise. This one is obviously going to be themed after the most popular thing that just came out. This will be an all Acolyte cruise. This will be the Acolyte, all of the characters you never wanted to see. Maybe they could combine Acolyte and She-Hulk. That would be.
Oh no! That's terrible. Good.
Here's what I think has happened with the cruise industry. Obviously, tremendous pent-up demand from 2020, 21, and 22 even, because it was a while before. I mean, like cruises were the first things affected by what had happened in 2020 because of the close quarters of everything, and that makes a lot of sense. But people love to cruise, right? So there was a ton of pent-up demand for Disney World, for cruising, for all this stuff, but especially for cruising, I think there was a tremendous pent-up demand. And so based on the success that they had coming off of the pent-up demand, I think is where all of this excitement came. Hey, look at these people. I think there was an overestimation of how long that pent-up demand would continue to travel, not just for the cruises, but for Walt Disney World, for travel in general, for a lot of things, especially when it comes to air travel. These things are costly. And yes, obviously coming off of what happened in 2020 and 2021, a lot of people stayed home. A lot of people stayed home and were making money while they stayed home and did nothing. So they had money to spend during that time. That money's gone. It's spent. And I do not think it lasted nearly as long as a lot of people thought it was going to. And so I think that Disney can recoup the money from building these, but I just think it's going to take quite a bit longer than they may have estimated in the beginning. And these things are not filling up. And it makes sense, especially this time of the year. I would never cruise this time of the year, especially I should say in the Caribbean or Atlantic because of hurricane season. I just don't want to take that risk. But
it's a fair point.
But there are also reasons to go right now as well. And there's other parts of the world that I think these ships may serve. An Alaska cruise or a European cruise, something like that. I think that they may in the future have to continue to discount the price of these if they want to keep those ships filled up. And that's probably what we're going to see even more of going forward.
That's a fair point. Marvin, I know you're a big fan of the Disney Cruise Lines, but you also had an experience of Royal Caribbean recently. And I remember you telling me that you really enjoyed your time there. I look at the market as it currently exists, and people are much more choosy with their money than they were before. And we're seeing that with like Universal, for example, and juxtaposed against even regional parks or Disney World. My question to you is, do people still opt for the higher experience, or the higher price experience, I should say, of Disney Cruise Line, or do they just go on Royal and be done with it? And then Marvin's gone. Dang it. Ron!
That's okay. I feel like I can answer the question. I do think that there's actually a lot of people. But the thing is, Disney has its fans, right? Disney has the die-hard fans that are only Disney. And a lot of the diehard fans haven't even realized the decline in service. Now, maybe that decline in service hasn't been on the cruise lines, like our cruise ships, hopefully not. But it's certainly possible that people have experienced the decline in service at the parks and have noticed it, especially fans who keep going. Like I've seen this not just from us, but now more and more people when I look at the boards and the lines and the discussions online. And I think people will indeed opt to do a Royal Caribbean cruise or something. They still want the same ports, the same destinations, the same islands, unless it's absolutely necessary, as with their fandom, that they got to see Mickey on the ship. They got to have their princesses. They got to have their Marvel Day or Star Wars Day or whatever it is that they absolutely feel the need for. I think that the general public is, when they have that choice, they will opt for it. But I can probably turn it over to Marvin now. And quickly, Marvin, the question was, are people going to opt for other choices like Royal Caribbean in today's, economy?
Yes, they are. I think Royal Caribbean is building bigger and bigger ships. Their private island, they've sunk a lot more money into their private island than Disney has. And look, I love Castaway Cay, but Fly Island out there in the Caribbean is 100% a disaster for Disney. From the half a mile of uncovered walkway to even access the island, to the fact that you're going to get your eyeballs bitten by flies while you're trying to eat lunch. It's terrible. And Perfect Day at Coco Cay at Royal Caribbean is phenomenal. I mean, it's unbelievable. And now Carnival is starting to institute a bunch of new rules that they're hoping will make their cruises a bit less disruptive, like no more Bluetooth speakers on the deck and stuff like that. They're trying to avoid fights on the ship as much. I think Carnival's reputation is beyond tarnished. I don't think, especially with the Poop Cruise documentary out, I don't think they're going to be much of a threat. But I think every other major cruise line is going to be a threat. Norwegian, Royal Caribbean. I think they're all coming for Disney. They sense blood in the water, and they are going to go for it.
Now, but I have a question for Marvin, because you talked about the private island. Are Tiana and Naveen on that island? Because they can just turn them into frogs. They can eat the flies.
That's very true, but you're not allowed to talk about them turning into frogs anymore, Ron.
That's right. We're not allowed to talk about voodoo.
Can't do it. Can't talk about their... You're taking their... So ridiculous. Sorry. Look, I wonder about the hunger for stuff like this. And I know this is like very much Marvel themed. I think the atrium is actually a Black Panther thing, if I recall correctly, on the Disney Destiny itself. And I think
Spider-Man is the figure on the back, I believe.
Right. And so they're attempting to differentiate themselves from like a Royal with their, amazing IP. But even that IP is falling away in terms of cultural relevancy and demand. So I don't know how sustainable this all is. Well, go ahead.
One other point I'll make is that who does Disney love to market to now? Dual income, no kids. But
True.
the adult offerings on a Disney cruise are nowhere near as good as the adult offerings on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
It's a great point.
the adults only area, Vash, you've been on the Wish. The adults only area on the Wish and all of those Triton class ships is minuscule.
Terrible.
But
Terrible.
you go on Royal Caribbean and you have a whole solarium that is an entire adult area with multiple pools and its own buffet, its own bar. And you know, what do Disney adults love to do? They love to drink alcohol, and Disney does not offer unlimited drink packages, which, by the way, shocks me. I mean, I'm glad they don't, because it's a family cruise and it shouldn't have unlimited drink packages. But like with the way they've dove all in on alcohol in Walt Disney World, I'm really surprised they don't have an unlimited drink package on Disney Cruise. Pleasantly surprised, but still surprised.
Still don't have casinos yet, correct?
Yeah, I can't imagine they'll ever have casinos on a Disney Cruise. It's just not a good look for them.
Man, that optically, and Marvin is exactly correct. They cater so much to children and to families on these cruise lines that to have something like casinos, man, that's still a bad look. But look, ESPN Bet exists, I suppose.
When friends of mine with kids ask me about a Disney vacation, I always say skip the theme parks, go on a cruise, because the cruise line still caters to families. It still caters to kids.
It's such a great point. And I would agree. I mean, if you're looking for a Disney experience, right? I mean, you can do a lot of the resort offerings at Walt Disney World for little to no cost at all, that I think are very, very good. Cruise lines for sure, though, if you're looking for something a little bit more immersive, looking for something that is as much all-inclusive as it, I guess, possibly can be. Cruise lines for sure. Disney parks, though, man, I gotta be honest. Walt Disney World, I just wasn't impressed. Universal, different story. And if Universal does get into this game, boy, look out, because then
Universal
Disney
did recently trademark Universal Cruise Line.
I heard about that, Marvin, and trust me, folks, if Universal does end up launching a cruise line officially, we'll be sure to cover it here on That Park Place.
Also, Vash, I mean, if Universal launches a cruise line, you're gonna have a cruise with the Minions on, and every kid in the world is gonna want to go do that.
That's exactly my point.
Kids don't care about Disney characters anymore because they're not made for them anymore.
Also, Star Wars and Marvel are far less relevant than they were just a few years
ago. They're rolling out a Marvel cruise ship at a time when Marvel has never been less relevant.
100% correct.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.